than one or more than one free software that you as teachers can use with your students. And this actually helps a lot by reducing the time teachers spend on marking. I know nowadays, especially in schools, the focus on student-centered activities. I know the speaker before me, Mr. Stephen Nadler, was speaking about teacher-centered activities, but this is the opposite of what and he was mainly speaking about speaking or developing students' speaking ability and developing students' confidence. I think I share with him a lot, but I'm talking about writing. I'm talking about writing and developing students' confidence in writing as well. But it's very simple and very easy. As you all know, as teachers of English or teachers of any language, the focus is on the vocabulary. Because if you really don't know the word for a specific expression or a specific thing that you want to express, then you kind of feel lost because you don't have the exact word to describe what you're talking about. And so it's about vocabulary mainly, and I will show you how to do it. And at the same time, it's about getting students involved and engaged in their work. Students feel that they need to do something. They are responsible for their work. And of course, students nowadays, they have access to the internet, so they can use those of these signs and they can be used at home. But the teachers need to train students actually to do this. So what the focus is here, I will show you in the second slide. The research, there has been lots of research, copious research actually, a very huge number of research on the students writing and feedback on students writing. And I know in your teaching, you focus on writing, you focus on vocabulary, distinguishing the different words from adjectives, adverbs, nouns, pronouns, terminals, and then you focus on sentence structure, you focus on very short kind of writing responses and descriptions of images or whatever. So there is a writing component in all the textbooks that you choose to teach or that the ministry asks you to teach. So here, the research on feedback is very much, but unfortunately it has been descriptive and mostly focused on students' preferences, what kind of feedback they prefer, all right? Neglecting the inner feelings and privacy or confidentiality of the students. What I'm going to talk about here today, I will introduce English language teaching teachers to some freely available software packages. They are free online. You don't have to pay. All you have to do with some of them, you need to register, but with some others, you don't need to. I will show you, but they are extremely important because once students write, then they can copy their writing and paste into this software. It will show them their shortcomings. Here is a general description of feedback. That feedback is central in the development of writing competence and confidence for both teachers and learners at all stages of education. Feedback exists in all processes, activities, and information that enhance learning. It provides the learners, all right, or it invites learners to reflect on their marks and understand the strengths of their writing. So this is a lot, and feedback is about involvement. Sometimes teachers make feedbacks on the students' written work, but the students never take the feedback. So we have a very kind of severe problem with the uptake of the feedback itself. So we want to encourage our students to really take the feedback. So those are the free, free software packages that I would like to introduce you to, so that you can use them. And I hope Mr. Saeed Nouri shares those slides with you at the end, so that you have access to those. So I will leave a copy of those slides, and it's already recorded, as I know. The first one is about lexical ability, and I will explain what it means. The second one is called text analyzer. The third one is anti-conk software. It's a very famous one. And the last one is analyzing my writing. I use the last one, analyze my writing, because it's user-friendly. It doesn't require any registration. It doesn't require any hassle. It doesn't require you to save the text in a text format or a rich text format or a PDF format, whatever. It accepts any submission, whether you have a PDF, whether you have a rich text, whether you have Microsoft Word document, whatever you use will accept it. So the first one is embedded in the last one. All right, all of them actually are embedded in analyze my writing. And it says what it means, analyze my writing from all different perspectives. I will explain what it means for text lexical density. The textware that I use, or the software, sorry, the software that I use to analyze student writings, and I use, believe me, to analyze sometimes my own writing, is the Analyze My Writing. And it has 6 different features that it focuses on. Number one, it gives you basic statistics of the text, all right? Basic text statistics about the whole text, the total number of words, the total number of letters, I mean the word, the letters used, but they call them the total number of characters, the percentages of words, whatever. So I don't use this one. I use mainly the second one, common words and phrases. It gives you the most common words used in the text and the most common phrases, whether they are adverbial phrases, adjectival phrases, prepositional phrases. It gives you the different types of those words. And then it shows you the readability of the text. And readability is very significant, and I need to talk about this. By readability, it means cohesion and appearance, all right? Whether your text flows naturally from one sentence into another, from one paragraph into another, or not. All right, please let me know if you can hear me still, because I cannot, I don't have access to any of you. So please, can you still hear me clearly? I have the microphone. All right, so some people, as I can see from the chat box, some people can hear me clearly, and some people, for some reason, they cannot hear me clearly, but I have no idea why. But yes, all right, anyway, I will continue and I will raise my voice. I will start shouting. All right, maybe because I moved, maybe I need to sit down. But when I sit down, I feel I'm a failure teacher. I cannot teach while sitting down. Anyway, I will try my best to stay close to the computer so that my voice becomes clear. All right, so we talk about the readability. The readability, it gives you a percentage of readability. And luckily enough, this website, it explains what readability means and what is the ideal percentage for a readability factor. Then, so readability focuses on cohesion and coherence. And by cohesion, I mean using transitional words, linking words, the smoothness of the transition from one sentence into another, using words such as in addition to this, similarly, therefore, as a result, consequently, because of this. So this is what it means. Then we have lexical density and lexical variety. I'm not really sure when you graduated from your schools, but because those are very current terms nowadays in research. Lexical density, when we analyze any writing submitted to us, we look for lexical density. And lexical density is the number of meaningful words. We know that the English language divides words into 2 types. Number one, we have words. All right, I need to use that, but anyway, we have function words. I'm not sure whether you can see this or not, and lexical words. They give them different names. Function words, they like articles, all right, like prepositions, like determiners, like pronouns, they call them function words. What does it mean, function words? They are words that don't carry meaning by themselves. All right? But what's important for us in this assessment is the lexical words, the number of lexical words used, the number of meaningful words. And they classify the lexical words into nouns. All right? Nouns are lexical words because they carry meaning. Verbs, when you say stop, then everybody kind of understands what you say. Adjectives, adverbs, they have meanings by themselves. All right? And lexical variety. There is a huge difference between the two. Some people may understand what lexical density is, but they don't understand what lexical variety is. A lexical variety, you might have a very well-written text, all right? But when you examine the lexical variety, you find that it's weak. By lexical variety, say, for example, if a student needs to use the verb start, say, for example, and he or she always keeps saying start, starting, whatever, any different versions or forms of start, then we would describe and label this text as lacking in lexical variety. Why? Because the student had been using the very same verb several times, so it's one token. But what would we look for? If someone needs to use something with the meaning of a start, then I would expect some student to say start, all right, commence, begin, all right, any of those verbs, all right? So initiated, any of those verbs. So we have both lexical density and lexical variety when we assess the text. In addition to this, we need to know how many times the passive is used, or the passive voice or the active voice is used. And the last one, closed test, is meant really for teachers. You know, after you might show a text or share a text with the students, and you might use the software to help you remove every fifth word or every seventh word, a meaningful word, and you can give the student a closed test, all right, fill in the blanks. The other one is, let me just give the full mode for this one, and then the other one is the results and benefits. But before I show you the results and benefits, let me share with you what this is the text. Can you all see it? This is the text. This is the software itself. Can you please share it? Can anybody confirm that you can see it? I can see that the page for Mr. Stephen Nalder is still there. So it should be, all right, it should be mine there. Can anybody confirm whether you can hear me or not, please? All right, can you see this one? Can you see this one, the sample text? Analyze my writing. This is the software that I use. Can you see it? Because I showed it to you and I will show it again. All right, excellent. So this is the one that I use, analyze my writing. And if you type in any internet browser, analyze my writing, you will get it. All right. Then what you do, you can show your students how it works. You can train them how to use it by asking them to write, or you have a sample written text and you copy and paste into the box that you can see in front of you. All right. Then once you show you copy and paste here, then you can see the basic text analysis, and I'm not interested in this, but you can see the common words and phrases. Then it will show you the readability percentage. Then it will show you the lexical density, and you can analyze the lexical variety yourself. Then it will show you how many of the sentences are passive and active. Then it will show you the closed test if you want to use this feature. This is a sample analysis of a text that I am. In my classes, I ask the students to apply for a job. Okay, I teach communication skills, and one of the components is that I ask my students to write a job application letter and apply and analyze it before submitting it to me. They analyzed the text and they found, number one, that the word I has been used 12 times. all right? The highest percentage of the total number of words was for the word I. Then I needed to discuss this with the students. I used it for class discussion. Maybe I have more time than you, and maybe I have more freedom than you have in the schools, but you can give this to students as a homework. You can ask them to work at home or maybe during free time or whatever. So students feel that even when they are at home, they are still connected to the school, they are related to their teachers and classes. So I said to students, if you have a text of less than 1 page, and I is used 12 times, then this says something about the psychology of the writer. It could mean, it could be acceptable for some people, but for me, it means that the person is not normal and might have whatever problems. So we start to working on reducing the number of I's as used in this text. It shows you that the terminal article has been used 12 times. And as I said earlier, the determinant article or the definite article is a function word which adds no more meaning. Yes, I know sometimes it's very important for the meaning, but in this particular letter, it doesn't add much. And again is a function word, add is a function word, to is a function word, a is a function word, that is a function word. All of them are function words. We start from number 15 to get lexical words, meaningful words, projects, Amazon, or then we go back again to function words, you, from, engineering, internship, believe, although have is a function word, but is a lexical word, but doesn't have much meaning here, courses, imagine. Then students look at this and they find that they have used, say, for example, the word company twice, or the word will 3 times, or the word have 3 times, or the word engineering 3 times, the word Amazon 4 times, projects 4. Then it kind of acts as an eye opener. It opens the students' eyes to the fact that they have used this text. This analysis was done before on the draft, all right? The draft was copied and pasted here. Then after this, the students looked at the analysis given to them, the frequency of the number of words here, the 50 most common words in the text, the number of occurrences, the percentages of the total words, and then they worked on editing, all right? And if I use something similar to what the ex-speaker, Mr. Stephen Nalder, used, I can say write, all right, write, submit, edit, and present. If we follow those steps, they go in this order, linear order. Write, students write first, then they submit to the software, then they edit based on the analyses given, then they present to their teachers. And the question that raises itself, will the teachers accept the shortcomings pointed out or highlighted by the software, or will they disagree with them? I have no idea. This could be a topic for a future study. If I stop this, and share with you the presentation itself, here students will benefit greatly. If I just go to the slideshow, and I take you to the results and discussion. All right, here, from what I did, I discovered that students greatly benefited from the software through it opening their eyes to word counts. Maybe when we write in the first place, we really don't pay much attention to what we're doing. Then the word frequencies, the number of words used, and how some words were used too many times, like I and that and many and all those whatever. So what does this mean? It means that students need to really capitalize on working more on the writing and editing it and rephrasing so that we can get rid of the examples of I. Examples of these are the pronouns I, and here is an example from it, and examples of I, and function words the, and. Furthermore, students will learn to use the passive as a strategy to help them reduce the number of first pronoun speaker, I. In addition, students will come to understand the differences between lexical density and lexical variety. All right, so when we introduce those terms to students, they will learn about grammar, because lexical density is part of the grammar, or it's some concept in the heart of the grammar itself, and lexical diversity as well. So they need to know what the difference is. So when they write, they start editing this one. Sometimes when you ask the students to edit, they say, what to edit, mister? There is nothing. No, nowadays, if we tell them that there is, you check your lexical density and lexical diversity, then they start to look for those things. Then, moreover, this activity will move students from teacher-centered approach with teacher-centered learning. The teacher is spoon feeding, the teacher is giving everything, all the details to students. No, to student-centered. Student-centered in what? Because they write their own writing, they feed it into the software, they analyze it, they look, but they need some guidance in the early stages. They need teachers to show them in no time how the system works. Then the teacher asks them to analyze or do the same. Most importantly, the students will exercise, okay, editing their text with utmost privacy and confidentiality. And this is a very important issue. And instead of exposing students in front of their colleagues and saying to them, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, you did this wrong, and harming the students' psychology, no, we have given the students a chance, and we need to make this clear to students. We have given them a chance to sit home and analyze the text themselves. I call students, consider yourself playing with the text. It's like a play, you're experimenting with your writing and seeing how it works. So the privacy and confidentiality of their work before the work is submitted, and it reduces the teacher's load as well. Why? Because instead of the teacher giving feedback on more than one copy or more than one draft of the writing in the writing stages, then students they get feedback of the shortcomings from the system, then they go and submit to their teachers. But their teachers are aware of what is happening. Then in the conclusion, we notice that the software reduces teachers' loads, since the students will eventually assess their own writing before it's submitted to teachers for final assessment. Finally, the use of the free editing software presents students with timely and individualized feedback. And this is another important issue, again, because some teachers might be busy preparing for lessons, busy with their family requirements, busy shopping, busy whatever, traveling. So the students will get, and they might take some time to assess students' writing and return to students. So, but when students use the software, they get the feedback on the spot. Believe me, you copy and paste, you press the button, immediately you get the feedback from this analyze my writing. So it's on the spot feedback. And this enhances the students' self-regulation and self-efficacy beliefs. Self-regulation, students learn how to do things themselves, and you are using one of the most important educational concepts in the field, and you're developing students' self-efficacy beliefs or confidence in themselves that they can edit and this. And this has nothing to do with plagiarism, because some people may make a connection to say, oh, the students are plagiarizing. No, the students are not plagiarizing. The software is doing exactly what the teacher should do, but it's doing it online privately with the students. The students are copying and pasting the writing. And in this particular case, it's giving students more confidence in themselves that I can do it. However, in spite of all those benefits reports, there is a need for future research, all right? We need some of you, maybe some researchers, or some people who are interested in investigating this further, to examine the instructor's approval. Sometimes students get feedback from the system, they submit to the teacher, and the teachers don't like the feedback given by the teacher, by the software. So we need really to examine the acceptance of the teachers of the recommendations made by the software. Do they accept the suggested recommendations or not? Then hence, or consequently, or based on this, researchers may choose to compare the software's recommendations or the weakness highlighted with what teachers would accept or would highlight. With this, I conclude my presentation, and I always say it has been my pleasure chatting with you, and I would like to thank all of you for taking the time to attend this presentation and share your ideas with me. Please feel free to share with me any questions that you may have. Any questions? Can you still hear me? I will, yes, Mr. Farzana. I will share already the slides have been saved on the recording, and I will send the email, the slides to Mr. Saeed Nouri, and I hope I have given my email address on the first slide, and I hope you use the software and let me know what your feedback is as a teacher or whatever. Oh yes, of course, you're most welcome, Ms. Mona. You're most welcome at any time. I think I can give you my mobile. You can get it from Mr. Saeed Nouri, and I'm connected to WhatsApp. You can use my email. You can use whatever. I would be more than happy and honored to contact any of you and hear your opinions from any of you. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Hassan. Or Hassan, I'm sorry, Mr. Hassan. My name is given here. My name is Tharwat Sakran, and I said from the very beginning, I'm never Sakran. And I work in the English department at the American University of Sharjah, and this is my email address. Sorry, my email address here is the first here, telsakran@AUSM. If you just search for me online, if you use this name online, you will find me. And this is my email address. You can contact me. And if you want my mobile number, I can write it down for you here. Sorry, if you want my mobile number, I can write it immediately after this here. It's 05088817011. All right, this is my mobile number for any person who would like to contact me, and I have a WhatsApp account on this. You just need to tell me I am from Al Hikmah School, or I attended the conference organized by Al Hikmah School, then I recognize who you are. Again, it's my pleasure, and I will be happy to take any questions from you anytime. Share the number. I have already shared it. All right. I already, thank you. The mobile number and the email, both of them are given this. Or even if you're not from Al Hikmah School, we should be very proud actually that Al Hikmah School, you contact me anytime. You say, I'm not asking you to say I'm from Al Hikmah School, but you say I attended the conference organized by Al Hikmah School. So at least you helping me identify who you are, okay? And then I'm ready to answer any questions. I know and expected some of you to ask similar questions to those asked to Mr. Stephen Nelder and say, how can I implement this in class? You can give it as a homework assignment, all right? You can show students. I'm sure students will be delighted to hear this, because students, we always hear Generation Z, internet savvy, internet whatever. We always hear lots of expressions describing the young generation, and they will be delighted if they see you giving them an internet software that they can use for analyzing their writing, and give students something useful instead of responding to useless chats or messages or whatever. Give them something useful, and they will be thankful and grateful to their teachers, because they will say, oh, this is really great. The teacher today gave me this. How could we track our students' progress in writing such software? They will submit to you, Ms. Sana. They will submit to you what they have written, so you can see whether they have benefited or not. But when you talk about it, when you train them how to use the software in class, you need really to be careful. All right, you need to train them and you need to introduce them to what the passive is. If they have not studied passive and active, you need to introduce them to the adjective phrases, adjectival phrases, prepositional phrases, adverbial phrases, noun phrases, all those adjective phrases. And for those who might not have heard about this, a prepositional phrase is any number of words that starts with a preposition. Say, for example, I live in the Cairo Semiramis. In the Cairo Semiramis, in, from in until the end, this is what we call a prepositional phrase. All right, because it follows the preposition. All right, so but if we classify the words into different categories, then in is a preposition, da is a determiner, Cairo is a proper noun, Semiramis is another proper noun. All right, and Cairo acting as an adjective in this place. I mean, you can, I mean, by listening, I already shared the number with you. Can you see this? Can you see my number? Can anybody confirm that you can see my number on the first slide? Can anybody confirm that you have seen my phone number on the first slide? Because I wrote it on the first slide. No, I wrote it. Mrs. Zahra, I wrote it. I wrote it on the first slide. It's here under my email address. I highlighted it. All right, I will highlight it.
Dr. Tharwat, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, Mr. Saeed, how are you?
Hello, Habib. I'm so happy having you. Habib, Muhammad.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Sorry for bothering you. It was very beneficial. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Yeah, we send our deep thanks for you for your reports.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Saeed. And I just thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much indeed. As always, I wanted something that the teachers can relate to, can feel that they have benefited from it and they can use it in the class to show their students that they know much far better than them. Because by showing those software, you can even share all the software packages that I shared with you. All those software packages, all right, can be shared with the students, but tell them that the bottom one here is the most user-friendly because it doesn't require any preparations or any whatever. But for those who cannot see my phone number, I wrote my phone number immediately and it's highlighted now on this slide. Can you see it? Can you confirm that you can see my phone number? Pardon? I didn't hear what was said. Was it addressed to me? Any other questions? Can you hear me clearly now?
Thank you so much.
All right, so that's it. I can look out of the system.
Very beneficial. Everybody benefited from the presentation. I extend my deep thanks for you and for the family. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saeed. And if you want the slides, I can share them with you via WhatsApp.